going to start warming up through the body. I'll turn around. Hopefully you can see both the front and the back of me. And here we go. We're listening to Radio Laria. Bully Pop is the name of the song. And let's just start gently, working through each knee, little bounce. Gentle pull in through the lower belly so that we feel a lengthening through the low back. You can start mimicking same side with an arm. I'm pulling with the elbow first, pulling out, forcing the elbow to rotate the arm inwards. 4, 3, 2. We're going to do singles. Hop. Pull in lots. Think about the belly button being the center of your circle of the hip movement. Hips are now rocking side to side as opposed to transferring the weight. This is horrible for your outer thigh and your IT band. Your abductor muscles won't like you. So let's cinch up the weight transfer, pulling up through the middle, growing tall through the crown of the head. Find those hips straight up. Push right arm, left, right, and left. Gently pushing through the heel of the palm. Not even pulling it back to 90 degrees. Keep pulling in that low belly. Soft, soft. All right, arms down. Let's take those hips round and round. Slow. Right tuck, left release. Right tuck, left. If you feel any low back pain, think about doing a D shape around to the front and then straight across through neutral. If you're an experienced belly dancer and you're just coming back to fundamentals to check in, then I'd like you to take it a little bit through the back, as long as you stay engaged through the front. Let's switch, and left, tuck, right, left, tuck, right. Keep those shoulders rolled back. All right, hands to the hips, reel, switching through the heels, working through the feet. Just lift it and pull back. Good. All right, let's hold it here. Take the ankle around and round. Other way. And a couple little springs off the floor, connecting with the toe first, and then the toe is the last thing that raises off the floor. Extend through the foot. All right, let's switch to the other side. Lift the heel and around and around. Other way. All right, lifting it up. Put it down, work through the foot. And up. Two more. All right. Go into some chest slides. Tighten up through the lower half of the girdle now. And allow the rib cage to slide side to side. Think about the side of your ribs, the little muscles in between them, stretching on one side as we push from the opposite side oblique. Okay, if you're not sure what's happening, you should be able to experience the opposite side working. Think of it as either pushing or pulling to anchor the chest down. I think about pulling up and in through my pelvic floor, through the belly button, lifting the rib cage off, because we don't want to counter shift the hips. Okay, I'm trying to keep even weight between each foot. Speed it up. Good. Keep it going. Hands low. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. One-sided hip stuff. So if you're just joining us, thank you for watching. It's Crystal from Sultan's Choice. And now we're going to start looking at some one-sided hip activity to help us get the articulation of the hip going in full realization of everything it can do. So plant yourself in 5th position, facing one of your downstage corners. Doesn't matter to me which corner you choose. I'm going to choose downstage right and have my left leg as the working leg, or the hip and leg that is being showcased. This is my audience side. This is my upstage side. It's closest to upstage. Downstage side, closest to downstage. This becomes the hip we're showcasing. My supporting leg is going to have a generous softness in the knee, allowing for lots of springy action, for me to absorb movement without having to do large level changes. So if I hold my head, bend my knees lots, and start working in and out of that leg, I have quite the movement in my hip. Now this leg paired with this leg all of a sudden allows us to have a huge range of motion. Okay, so there'll be times that we're going to need to stretch this leg out, stretch this leg out. So bear with me and enjoy the one-sided hip vocabulary portion. All right, generous softness in. Think pelvic floor straight down, hip bones, pubic bone are on the same plane. We don't want to be tipped forward and tucked under, nor do we want those hip bones protruding forward in an anterior tilt. So let's hold that in through the belly, lengthen spine, knit together the upper portion of the rib cage, shoulders slide back and down. Start with gentle hip up, down, up, down. 2 more. Speed that up, up, down, up, down, down. Now try to keep the level of the head the same as we speed it up. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're just going to place that foot heel to toe and toes out, and switch to the other side. And here we go, nice and slow. It's up and down, up and down. 2 and 1. Let's speed it up. It's up. Again, we're listening to Radio Laria as the band. Name of the song is called Lollipop, and you can get it off of Bandcamp, either stream or download. Faster now. Really pull in through the belly, lengthen the low back. 3, 2, and 1. Now give me that foot turned out. Switch corners, other side. So now we're going to play with lifting it up, sliding the hip out, and then putting it down, lifting it up, and then pulling it in and dropping it. Lift, out, in, out, in. Good. Make sure you stay tucked under, nice and long in the low back. Last one, let's speed it up. And Lots of bend in that supporting leg. All right, last one. And let's cross touch. Other side. Breathe. This is where we work our range of motion. The slower we go, the bigger the move can be. We actually have more time in space, more time in the music to allow us to get actually farther. Now, as the music speeds up, and especially when we're just beginners, those movements must get quite a bit smaller. Let's do 2 more, 2, and 1. Now let's speed it up and out. Okay, so we don't have as much time to get as far out there. So you can make these just a little bit smaller. Okay. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stop. All right, let's look at some circles. So now we're going to move into the portion where we're going to talk about circles, rounding outwards, up to down, down to up, as well as forwards, up to down, and then down to up. Okay, so back to left foot. We're going to squeeze in through the obliques, lift it up, and slide the hip out slightly like we just learned in our crescent. And then bend that knee of the working hip a little bit more, and then suck it in, bringing the hips back to neutral and the hip back over the heel. Squeeze it up, push it out, drop it down, bring it in. 1, 2, 3. All right, a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the more advanced you become, I'd like you to start trying to keep the heel on the floor. Now, if you're a beginner, please lift it up. You can lift it up and put it down. Keep that belly pulled in. 4, 3, 2. Let's reverse that. Opposite direction. Take it down, out, lift, pull it in, down, out, lift, in. Let's do 1 more. Use those obliques to help lift it up, down. Oh, I lied. I said 1 more. You got 2 more. Let's speed it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep those hips tucked underneath. If you're experiencing any low back pain right now, your hips might be going into an anterior tilt, meaning you're leading with your tail instead of the side of your hip. Let's take a break from the side. Switch, other side. Nice and slow, lifting the hip up, squeeze it out, drop it down, in. Try to control the movement of the knees out to the side. You don't want to be like this. It's not very graceful. It's not very flattering. This is where we work that oblique, find our range of motion. Keep that belly pulled in. Let's speed it up. And up. Try to control the movement in the rib cage. You don't want it to be doing its own circle. We're going to do 4 more. Relax those shoulders, lengthen the neck, relax the jaw. let's slow it down, take it down, down, out, squeeze it up, drop it down, down, out, lift, in, down, out, lift, speed it up. Back to the other foot. Now we're going to play with twisting forward, lift the hip up, twist the hip back, put the hip down. Using the foot in the floor and a little bit of bend in the knee, we're going to create circles traveling in a counterclockwise direction. Here we go. Twist it forward, lift it up. Joining us, this is circles with one side on one hip. We just finished doing horizontal, now we're doing some vertical. All right, and forward. Oh, actually, I guess they're kind of all vertical. Just changing the plane we're doing it on. Forward. Let's reverse, slow it down. Twist back, squeeze up, twist forward, put it down. Twist, lift, twist, neutral, twist, lift, twist, neutral. One more. I lied, one more. Let's speed that up. And it's back, lift. Control that rib cage. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, cross touch. Let's go the opposite side. Twist, lift, twist back, put it down, forward. Keep that belly in, long low back, rib cage lifted. Keep the rib cage backed up over the pelvis so you don't end up in a position like this, trying to lean forward, sticking your tail out, pull it back. All right, let's speed up. 1, 2, 3. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reverse, slow it down. Twist back, squeeze it up, twist, lower. Remember the placement of the hip bones in relationship to the pubic bone. Let's speed that up. Keep that ribcage lifted. Belly in. Reach those arms up. Shoulders down, let's exhale. Try to hold the knees, the feet We're stuck between a toaster. Be careful your hips don't pitch back and twist. And be careful that this upper shoulder doesn't come in and start reaching forward. We really want to lengthen through the side so that we can work on our range in all of those beautiful circles. Inhale first, lengthen the neck. Exhale, come up. Grow tall. Stay narrow, you're in the toaster. First. Exhale, come up. Arms wide. Let's do some shoulders. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arms come out and up. Bring the weight forward to the balls of the feet. Squeeze everything up. Shoulders lock down. Twisting to the side. Lift, rotating from the belly button. Lock those shoulders down. Lengthen the neck up. Let's go the other way. Here we go. All the way down. Keep that posture tight. All right, and let's place the heels down, bend the knees. Place the knees, or you can place the balls of the feet. The knees, of course, will be here in plank, squeezing the glutes, pull the belly in, widen the shoulder blades. So don't allow the chest to sink forward. Push up and widen. Restabilize that back. Pull the belly in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees come down. And let's push the hips back. Keep those arms reaching forward. Now, if this is a challenge, then you can please take your knees wide and allow the seat to stay high as you lower the chest down. Up. We're going to come to all fours with a nice long back. We're just going to do a quadrilateral stretch here where we're going to lift opposing limbs and try and keep the squareness of the hips, squareness of the shoulders. Bring it back. Other side. Tuck those toes at the back, walk those hands forward, shoot the tail up, and walk the feet in, rounding the back. Find your chair, roll the shoulders back, lengthen the arms up. Keeping the hips back behind the heels, knees back from behind in front of the toes, bring it up. Thank you so much for joining me. I I hope you were able to catch all 3 of those hip movements. If not, please do watch the individual segments that are being released. Great hip work. All right, have a great day, guys. Thanks.